that you were actually suicidal. Is that true?
I was never suicidal. I loved life too much to ever be suicidal.
Gossip and rumors and to be vicious and evil and ugly, that is garbage. Don't buy it.
You think it's the paparazzi, the celebrity, the tabloids, the public?
What is a 36-year-old man doing sleeping with a 12-year-old boy, or a series of them?
But is it really appropriate for a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all?
Michael, is it the journalist's role or the press's role to be kind?
To be kind? The press has made up so much god-awful, horrifying stories that are completely appalling.
I know.
Completely appalling.
And they found nothing that can say Michael Jackson did this. Nothing.
No, but do not judge a person. Do not pass judgment on anyone unless you have talked to them one-on-one. I don't care what the story is. Do not judge them because it's a lie. I always wish the world could be a better place. Hopefully bring happiness to people and to bring joy. I want to set the record straight. I'm not gay. I mean, the moment I started breaking the all-time records of the biggest selling albums of all time, they called me weird overnight, strange, wacko, they said I'm a girl, homosexual.
Michael is not gay, nor has he ever been gay. He's confided in me that certain women that he had relationships with, he wasn't public about any of it.
But you are somewhat eccentric, to say the least. The way you dress, the way you look, it invites attention. The whole appearance.
No, maybe I like to live that way. Maybe I like to dress that way. I don't want paparazzi, really. But if they come, be kind. Write the right kind thing to write.
Ms. Taylor said you were king of pop, rock, and soul. Where did this whole notion that you proclaimed yourself king of pop come from?
Well, I didn't proclaim myself to be anything. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be who I am. King of Pop was first said by Elizabeth Taylor on one of the award shows.
As a matter of fact, we have that. Let's roll that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1989 Heritage Award and Sammy Davis Jr. Award recipient, and in my estimation, the true king of pop, rock, and soul, Mr. Michael Jackson.
Did you ever, as this young boy said you did you ever sexually engage, fondle, have sexual contact with this child or any other child?
Never, ever. I could never harm a child or anyone. It's not in my heart. It's not who I am. And it's not what I'm not even interested in that,
God knows in my heart how much I adore children.
How would you characterize your relationship with this boy?
I've helped many, many, many children, thousands of children. Cancer kids, leukemia kids. This is one of many.
How about the police photographs, though? How was there enough information from this boy about those kinds of things?
The police photographs that they took of me.
Yes.
There was nothing that matched me to those charges.
There was nothing. There was nothing that concurred.
That's why I'm sitting here talking to you today. There was not one iota of information that was found that could connect me.
So when we've heard that there was a marking of some kind.
No markings.
It looks to everyone as if you paid a huge amount of money.
Most of that's
to get
folklore.
silence.
I don't want to do a long, drawn-out thing on TV like OJ and all that stupid stuff. It wouldn't look right.
I have got to do something to get out from under this nightmare. All these lies and all these people coming forward to get paid and these tabloid shows, just lies, 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 lies. I talked to my lawyers and I said, can you guarantee me that justice will prevail? And they said, Michael, we cannot guarantee you that a judge or a jury will do anything. And with that, I was like catatonic. I was outraged.
How much money
Totally
was it?
outraged. This could be something that could go on for 7 years.
How much money
we said,
was
let's get it behind us.
Can you say how much?
It's not what the tabloids have printed. It's not all this crazy outlandish. No, it's not at all. I mean, the terms of the agreement are very confidential.
I just said, look, get this over with. I want to go on with my life. This is ridiculous. I've had enough. Go.
Throughout my life, I have only tried to help thousands upon thousands of children to live happy lives. It brings tears to my eyes when I see any child who suffers. I am not guilty of these allegations, but if I am guilty of anything, it is of giving all that I have to give to help children all over the world. It is of loving children of all ages and races. It is of gaining sheer joy from seeing children with their innocent and smiling faces. It is of enjoying through them the childhood that I missed myself. If I am guilty of anything, it is of believing what God said about children. Suffer little children to come unto me, and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. In no way do I think that I am God, but I do try to be God-like in my heart. I am totally innocent of any wrongdoing, and I know these terrible allegations will all be proven false.
But is it really appropriate for a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all?
That's a beautiful thing.
That's not a worrying thing?
Why should it be worrying? Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room? This is a guy trying to help heal a child. But
did you ever sleep in the bed with them?
No. But I have slept in the bed with many children. I sleep in the bed with all of them. When Macaulay Culkin were little, Kieran Culkin would sleep on this side, Macaulay Culkin's on this side, his sister's in there. We're all just jamming the bed. You know, we have the footage. I have all that footage.
But is that right, Michael?
It's very right. It's very loving. That's what the world needs now. More love.
I can hear out in the country people saying, and you've been cleared of all the charges, we want to make that clear. People saying, look, here is a man who is surrounded by things that children love. Here is a man who spent an inordinate amount of time with these young boys.
That's right.
What is a 36-year-old man doing sleeping with a 12-year-old boy, or a series of them?
Right. Okay, when you say boys, it's not just boys, and I've never invited just boys to come in my room. Come on, that's ridiculous. And that's a ridiculous question. But since people want to hear it, you know, the answer, I'll be happy to answer it. I have never invited anyone into my bed, ever. Children love me, I love them, they follow me, they want to be with me. But anybody can come in my bed. A child can come in my bed.
No, we don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Not at all.
Being a father myself and being a man, men know men. He had the desires of women like...
These reports that we read over and over again, that in your rooms they found photographs of young boys, not of
young
adults,
boys, there's children, all kind of girls and everything.
Then that they found photographs, books of young boys who were undressed.
No.
Didn't happen.
No, not that I know of, unless people sent me things that I haven't opened. People know my love for children, so they send me books from all over the world, from South America, from Germany, from Italy, from Sweden.
So if people say that they found those things, if there's an indication, let them come forward, let them produce them, right?
Yeah, because I get all you wouldn't believe the amounts of mail that I get. And if you say to somebody, you know, if I let the fans know I love Charlie Chaplin, I'll be swarmed in Charlie Chaplin paraphernalia. But if I say I love children, which I do, they swarm me with everything pertaining to kids.
They found approximately 90 girly magazines in Michael Jackson's home. Playboy, Hustler, Penthouse. His fingerprints were on them. He had bought them. They never found any kiddie porn on computers or anywhere else. And I used that fact in my closing argument to explain why this guy is not a pedophile.
As we sit here today, do you still think that it's acceptable to share your bed with children?
Of course. Of course, why not? If you're going to be a pedophile, if you're going to be Jack the Ripper, if you're going to be a murderer, it's not a good idea. That I'm not. That's how we were raised. And I didn't sleep in the bed with the child. Even if I did, it's okay. I slept on the floor. I gave the bed to the child.
Cannot find the oxygen chamber anywhere in the house.
That story is so crazy. I mean, it's one of those tabloid things. It's completely made up.
Okay, but there you are in something there. There's a picture of you.
Well,
where did that come from? How did it get started?
I did a commercial for Pepsi, and I was burned very badly. And we settled for like $1 million, and I gave all the money. We built this place called the Michael Jackson Burn Center. And that's a piece of technology that's used for burn victims, right? So I'm looking at the piece of technology, I'm touching it, feeling it, and decide to just go inside of it, just to hammer around. Somebody takes a picture. When they process the picture, the person who processes the picture say, oh, Michael Jackson, he made a copy. These pictures went all over the world with this lie attached to it. It's a complete lie. Why do people buy these papers and it's not the truth?
Did you buy the Elephant Man's bones?
No,
Were you trying to get them?
That's another stupid story. I love the story of the Elephant Man. It reminds me of me a lot. You know, I could relate to it. It made me cry because I saw myself in the story. But no, I never asked for the Elephant Man. Where am I going to put some bones?
I don't know.
And why would I want a pair of bones?
I don't know. So where did that come from?
Someone makes it up and everybody believes it. You hear a lie often enough, you hear it enough, you start to believe it. They once said I wanted a white kid to play me as a child, which was a rumor.
There was a story about you wanting to have a little white boy play you in a Pepsi commercial.
That is so stupid. That's the most ridiculous, horrifying story I've ever heard. It's crazy. I mean, why? Number one, it's my face as a child in the commercial. Me when I was little. Why would I want a white child to play me? I'm a black American. I'm proud to be a black American. I am proud of my race. I am proud of who I am. I have a lot of pride in who I am and dignity. That's like you wanting an Oriental person to play you as a child. Does that make sense?
No.
So please, people, stop believing these.
Somehow people still are not, they don't feel they've heard everything about the whiteness of your skin, and that it's not somehow a choice on your part, along with the makeup, to be, is it to be neither black or white, neither to look completely male, to be in the androgynous zone? I think they want to know, it is a decision on your part some way, the way you look. Where does it come from?
I think it creates itself, nature.
You talked about how when you went through adolescence, you had a terrible time. And in fact, I had a look at some pictures of you during that period. And you did have a lot of spots. One of the things that you've clearly used to overcome this is changing your appearance. You've kind of, you know, you've physically changed.
No, it's called adolescence. It's called growing and changing.
Yeah, but even the shape of your face has changed.
No, it has not. I've had no plastic surgery on my face, just my nose.
Are you bleaching your skin, and is your skin lighter because you don't like being black?
Okay, number one, as I know of, there is no such thing as skin bleaching. I have never seen it. I don't know what it is.
Well, they used to have those products growing up. I used to hear, always use bleach and glow, but you'd have to have about 300,000 gallons to...
Okay, number one, this is the situation. I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. It's something that I cannot help. Okay, but when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So it is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay? But what about all the millions of people? Let's reverse it.
Okay.
What about all the millions of people who sit out in the sun to become darker, to become other than what they are? Nobody says nothing about that.
He's an artist. He has every right, and he is constantly remodifying something or changing it or reconstructing it or, you know, working on some imperfection that he thinks needs to be worked on. If he sees something he doesn't like, he changes it. Period. He re-sculpted himself. He's an artist.
It's the nose. They try to say, why does he keep changing it? It's not true. It's just the nose, you know?
Even though the shape of the face is different.
Because I've changed.
How have you changed?
I was a little kid.
I'm talking about pictures of you in your 20s.
No, I was changing. I'm telling you the honest truth. I don't do anything to my face. Honestly.
You've had a tough week this week, haven't you? Because the media have been accusing you of being irresponsible with your children.
The media...
I believe that there are people who should be parents. And he's one of them. And he is such a fabulous man and such a good friend. And he's always been there for me. Always. From the day I met him.
When your son was born, you sold pictures to the National Enquirer and to other European papers,
Right.
tabloids. Why did you do that?
Why?
Why?
Because there was a race. There were some illegal pictures out. Illegally, somebody had taken pictures of a baby for millions of dollars. They said, here's Michael's son.
And it wasn't, as I remember.
It wasn't. So I took the pictures of the baby, said, they're forcing me to get his picture. There's helicopters flying above us, flying over my house, flying over the hospital, machines and satellites all over even the hospital said, Michael, we've had every kind of celebrity here. We've never had it like this. This is unbelievable. And so I said, here, take it. And I gave the money to charity.
So rather than, in a sense, what you're saying is, what you did was to get them off your back.
Yeah. Now they want to do it again, and maybe I don't want to show him to the world like that. I want him to have some space where he can go to school. I don't want him to be called Wacko Jacko. That's not nice. They call the father that. That isn't nice. Right?
You said you don't want your child to be called Wacko Jacko's son. How are you going to prevent it so they don't do it to him?
That's the thing. That's the idea. Maybe you should come up with a plan to help me.
And you're his daddy.
There you go. Well, they created that. Did they ever think that I would have a child one day that I have a heart, it's hurting my heart? Why pass it on to him?
Would you have conceived a child with a black woman?
Of course.
As a surrogate mother?
Of course.
There's been another issue raised in a song. You say, "Jew me, sue me," and some people are saying that that is anti-Semitic.
It's not anti-Semitic because I'm not a racist person. I could never be a racist. I love all races of people, from Arabs to Jewish people, like I said before, to blacks. But when I say Jew me, sue me, everybody do me, kick me, kike me, don't you black or white me, I'm talking about myself as the victim. You know, my accountants and lawyers are Jewish. My three best friends are Jewish. David Geffen, Jeffrey Katzenberg, Steven Spielberg, Mike Milken. These are friends of mine. They're all Jewish. So how does that make sense? I was raised in a Jewish community.
We're going to show you a film now created by Michael Jackson, and it is causing a furor in some movie theaters around this country. They say, among other things, that it is clearly modeled after Triumph of the Will, Leni Riefenstahl, a Nazi film with
Nazi
Nazi
imagery. It's not true. None of that's
imagery.
true. None of those things are true.
Did you watch that film before you did it?
I watch everything. I love movies, I love documentaries. It had nothing to do with that at all.
But there are people who keep saying, they look at it and say, this is...
Absolutely not.
You know
it's nothing to do with politics or communism or fascism.
Well,
at all.
The critics have said that it's the most boldly vainglorious self-deification a pop singer ever undertook with a straight face.
Good. That's what I wanted.
For the controversy?
Yeah. And they fell into my trap.
For the people who say that...
I wanted everybody's attention.
But for the people who say those symbols matter,
no,
they're about suffering.
No, symbols has nothing to do with that. It's not political. It's not fascist. It's not dogma. It's not, ideology and all of this stuff. It's pure, simple love. You don't see any tanks. You don't see any cannons. It's about love. It's people coming together.
About love. We're going to let everybody watch a bit.
Yeah, but it's art. It's art.
Okay.
The way a director would use a medium to create art.
Here it comes. we said, we're going to clearly agree to disagree maybe on what this means to some people watching it.
There are those who would say that you add to the attention.
No, I don't.
Well, the masks, the mysterious behavior.
There's no mysterious behavior. There's a time when I give a concert, I like to have as many people want to come can come and enjoy the show. And there's a time where you like to be in private when you put on your pajamas, go to sleep, cut off the light, ding, and lay down. That's your private space. If you go in the park, I can't go in the park though. So I create my own park at Neverland, my own water space, my movie theater, my theme park. That's all for me to enjoy.
You know, there is that argument that you rely on publicity to sell your albums, for your concerts.
When I approve of something, yes.
But you can't always control the press. You can't approve of everything. You can't invite them in again and again, and then at a certain point close them out.
Yes, you can.
Well, how do you do that? What is that line?
And by doing that, this is their time for this, and this you should not do. You should not say he's an animal. Should not say he's Jacko. I'm not a Jacko. I'm Jackson.
How do you feel when they call you
Wacko Jacko? Where'd that come from? Well, some English tabloid. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice. Don't do it. I'm not a wacko.
Do you think that your success has actually made people turn against you?
The bigger the star, the bigger the target. And the more popular I became, the more rumors that were created, none of which were true.
All my life, the tabloid press, that kind of press, not the press, the tabloid, the paparazzi, that type. I've been running for my life like that, hiding, getting away. You can't go that way because they're over there. Well, let's go this way. Pretend we're going that way and we'll go that way. Somebody say, hold on, stop. This person deserved their privacy. You are not allowed to go there. I go around the world dealing with running and hiding. I can't take a walk in the park. I can't go to the store. I have to hide in a room. You feel like you're in prison.